Hello! Welcome! I'm on a new stream now. I was just streaming Uncharted 2 over on my Twitch channel, and now I'm over here to stream my mermaid drawing for today because my viewers over on Twitch requested that I do this. So here we are. This is just my lovely little thumbnail file, so I'll just save that and switch over into my drawing file, my Mermay day 19 file here. I'm actually, give me 1 second. I have to make some adjustments to my physical space here to kind of accommodate everything. I have to tell you that my desk is not, the way I have my desk set up is not set up to be having my microphone plugged in at the same time that I have my tablet plugged in, but that's okay. We can work around these things. It's just a little clunky at the start. But for now, so we're on day 19 and the prompt for today is wrath. Now I think that since the last time, no, I did have these brushes last time that I streamed, I think. I got 4 different, well, I guess 5 technically, different packs of brushes, Photoshop pencil brush, Evident concept art brush pack, Ahmed Aldori, there's 2 different brush packs from them, and Shiun Kim ink brush pack. And I would say that, well, really all of them have been useful for me. Hello, welcome. It's great to see you over here on YouTube. All of these have really been useful for me. The pencil is pretty good when I'm doing like sketchy stuff. Actually, one of the days recently though, rescue. Which day was that? 16, I think maybe. I did the whole thing with the pencil brush, with that particular pencil brush. The concept art brush pack here, these are incredible as well. They've been helping me out a lot in my most recent drawings, as well as Shiun's ink brush set. A lot of these I've been using too, and all of these except for the ink brush set, all of them were free, so that's awesome. Shiun Kim's ink brush set, I think I paid like $10 for it, but I really like these brushes. Let me just show you some of them here. They're ink brushes obviously, but they're pretty good for like getting some cartoony style drawings from them. I think when I did Fury, that one I used mostly with the ink brush to actually draw Ariel. So anyway, here we are, day 19. It's wrath. I'm going to zoom in. Let me get my canvas at 100% here. I think I might just go into the concept art brush pack and use this hard round brush. And let me just make sure that, okay, cool. I just had some desktop notification noises going on. I wanted to make sure they weren't in the stream. So yeah, I always like to start by writing out the prompt, or let's do lowercase. What happens then? Wrath. I might go a little bit smaller with the brush to do sketching. So in my, Twitch stream, I got the suggestion that Ariel should be raising the sea. Giving a word to raise the sea, which is obviously has nothing to do with the Coldplay song Viva La Vida and the line, "Seas would rise when I gave the word." So I kind of envisioned like, here's a problem that I'm running into with these drawings is that I feel like because it's Mermay, I need to be drawing Ariel full body, because if I only draw her head, then I'm not drawing, or even like torso up, then I'm not drawing the mermaid portion of her. But some of the ideas I have, like what I'm envisioning right now is like giant floating head over the ocean. And maybe you see like some of her shoulders, and then it kind of like fades out here, you know? So really I was thinking in The Little Mermaid, when, by the way, if anyone doesn't know, yes, I'm doing Mermay and drawing Ariel, but I'm drawing, that's my challenge for myself, was to do Mermay and only do Ariel fan art. So I know that you don't have to draw Ariel. It's probably cliche to do it for Mermay, and that there are other mermaids, and that you can even do you can draw other kinds of mermaids, but this is where I'm at. I decided it would be funny to only draw Ariel for Mermay, and I'm committing to the bit. So in The Little Mermaid, there's the part where like Ursula emerges from the sea and she's giant. That's kind of what I was picturing here, or something similar, you know, like that kind of feeling to it. But I need to have the tail and fins, you know, because otherwise it's just a human. It's just a drawing of a human. So maybe I can have her kind of like the tail comes out of the water. Then it can be a double Coldplay reference, because it'll be like spies. Also, apologies if at any point I get if my voice starts to break or my words stop making sense, because I've already streamed for 2 hours straight over on Twitch, so I'm trying my best. If anyone watching has suggestions, feel free to leave a comment in the chat. For now, I mean, this kind of looks like she's bathing, like she's in a giant bathtub. I kind of like that. This is gonna make for a boring stream if I don't talk. Oh, I hit my microphone. This is what I'm talking about. My setup's not set up for this kind of thing. So we have Ariel in a sea bathtub. Then maybe I can, I mean, this fin is terrible perspective. Should her arms be in the air raising the water? Oh yes, actually, kind of what I thought before. Let me shrink this sketch down a little bit. Because I probably won't use that. I don't like the fin anyway. That's not the right perspective. Actually, another thought that I had was more like Ursula in the movie. So I'm going to, on my other screen here, look up reference for that. Ursula Giant. Oh yeah, like, look at this. This is what I'm going for. But Ariel. Now, how well can I actually draw that? We shall see. Oh hey, Liv, what's up? Thanks for joining me. A little 10 Commandments Red Sea sort of thing. Ah. Like Moses got power over sea. We're gonna make this a 3 times Coldplay reference. Let's see, how do we get powerful person? I still have not figured out a solve for the brush sometimes double. Did I erase? Okay, I thought maybe I had erased everything else that I did on this layer at some point, but I did not. Okay, it's all right. So, okay, I have it in my head, but I'm trying to figure out where. I gotta tell my hand what to do. Okay. Should be like this, a triangle, and her hands will be like this. Wahahaha. Wahahaha. Raise up. And then, now this is the tricky part. And then we get some water here. Now, the water should be coming up like this. I mean, maybe not that high, but it needs to have this whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And then we have the seabed, and so we'd have to see more of her, but then also what's her tail doing? No, I didn't want to do that. No. No, give me my freedom back. Okay, gotta tilt my tablet more toward me so I can see what I'm doing and not screw things up. Okay. That's the water. My sketches are very sketchy. This is my process. Just like when I play my video games, and the way that I make progress is by dying a lot. The way I make progress in drawing is by drawing nonsense most of the time. How does this work for her to be in the water and parting the water at the same time? If we do it as like a V, does that even make sense? And then what happens with her legs? And I feel like she should come down more this way. Oh boy. Gorgeous, thank you. I think I may have gotten myself into big trouble with this one. Well, let me just keep fiddling away here. Gotta draw the shell bra approximation. Her belly button would be like there. Some shoulders. Here, whoops. Here. And then probably actually like her chin here. And I don't really have enough practice drawing people's heads from this angle. Should have her hair would come out kind of. Dustly or something like that, and then can bring her arms, her upper arms down a little bit, and then how would, loving the symbolism, thanks, how would her, well, this can come out a little bit more maybe this way. This is only my first layer anyway, so definitely gonna need more layers for this. What kind of her hands would be like? Folded up, like saying, bring it, water, bring it. We can't all be perfect. Thank you, Liv. Exactly. No one's perfect, and that's why Ariel looks like this. I think it would be cool though, not so you wouldn't see like here, what would be here, some kind of like sand stuff. You'd see her, whoops, her tail coming down this way like an ogre. And then some, maybe in the background we can have a giant tail. That's just how big she is. Does it look like wings? Kind of looks like wings. We give her wings. And a halo. Well, I guess the halo would need to be more rounded that way. Is this allowed? Can I do this? I mean, I don't hate it. Ogres have layers. Photoshop has layers. I thought you meant to say ogres aren't perfect. It's also true. Now, one thing that I want to improve on is hair. And one thing that I've seen people doing is they kind of have pretty pointy hair at the top for their characters. And also a lot of individual strands. And I never have the patience for that. Not individual strands, but like individual segments, you know? Bob Ross would say you can do whatever you feel like in your world. It's true. I'm wanting to keep it in the mermaid realm. But who says you can't have winged mermaids? With halos. And then maybe, you know what this needs is like a little palm tree in the distance. Gotta erase the one that came out too dark. And then its friend over here. And then maybe another one. This might be this might be a drawing that I don't really color. We'll see. I might need to put too much focus on the lines and everything to be able to color it, but maybe. This side is feeling empty, you know? What's going on in the foreground here? I'm circling these areas. We gotta put like some rocks or something. One-winged mermaid, a Final Fantasy VII reference. I have not even still played the demo. I'm sorry to inform you, but I'm behind on my gaming. In that really the only things that I play are the games that I stream and Animal Crossing. Although I did download, so I'd been playing, I have this app that I've had for over a year and a half basically now called Wordscapes. There's something like 6,000 plus levels in that app. It's just a word, like a word find game basically. So you have a certain number of letters that are given to you. These don't really look like rocks, but I know that they're rocks, and that's all that matters. I feel like this is actually looking pretty decent for what it is. I think that maybe like the background stuff, the palm trees will need to come up a little bit more, like up here, so that it's like, you know, perspective. But I'm kind of liking the way this has come out. It's very much over to this side of my canvas though, so I'm just going to lasso most of it, rip this part of the circle here, and then nope, that's not, my select tool was in artboard tool mode, which is not what I wanted. Okay, I just needed to move it over here. What do you guys think? Here, let me put it back on 100% for a little bit longer. So we have Ariel parting the sea. Wrathfully, I guess. The nice thing is that I don't necessarily have to. I think it's okay to be inspired by the prompt and then let it take its own shape. It doesn't always have to be, oh, I did exactly what the prompt says. It's a perfect logical connection between the two. I think it's okay to have some, let's say, dissonance. But we have Ariel parting the sea, and we've got some scenery behind her with the palm trees, and we've got some scenery in front with the rocks. Feels pretty balanced. I mean, the composition could be better because probably we could put her off to one side. I mean, that's how it was in the reference anyway. It's like Ursula was over here and giant, and then Ariel and Eric were down here and small and scared and weak. And then there was like the sky. So like doing that kind of thing and having Ariel over here and giant, and then the sea over here parting and being weak and scared, and then, you know, maybe then having the rock in the foreground over here and some palm trees in the back on this side. And maybe a rock over here, so that it's a little more diagonal, off center, you know? Oh, use birds for scale. That's great. Here's a bird. And here's a bird. You can't tell, but they're flying at the speed of sound. Do I want to change the perspective? This is tough. One of these days I'm gonna draw Ariel in. Let me see, what are all the prompts here? This is how I have it set up. I have a Photoshop file for every single prompt. to help me get started every day. Ancestors, futuristic maybe. Blaze, Siren Song, Treasure, Shark, Shore, Punk, Bestial, which I don't know what I'm doing for that because I'm gonna have to think about that. Orphan, which is unpleasant, but I might do an orphans one. Pirate. Oh, smartphone would be a great one. So maybe the last day, smartphone is when I'm gonna draw Ariel in a bathtub, and I'm gonna draw this in here now. She'll be on her phone. Then for day 31, I can just come back to the sketch and steal it and improve it. So where are we at? I feel like, hold on. I had this thought and now I have to go through with it. So let me just, I gotta open smartphone, make a new layer, and I'm gonna write smartphone C day 19 sketch as a reminder for myself. So on day 31, then I'll be able to remember to do that. You could tell, but you didn't need words. I got you. I see what you did there. Okay, we move on to the second sketch layer. Now, last time that I streamed my drawing, it took me 4 sketch layers to get it looking good. And that was another one where the perspective was a little bit different from what I normally do, which is not much perspective wise. But this time, will it take 4? Probably. So I'm really trying to debate, do I want to Yes, you are late, but that's okay. It's also like you're way ahead in time, and I don't think that if I was you, I would even be able to be awake this long. It's only, what time is it? It's 8:50 here right now, and I'm already super tired. So what am I doing? I'm drawing Ariel. This perspective is harder to make it look, as much as I like changing up the composition, as much as I think it'd be good, I feel like I should just go with this bottom one. Let me just recap what I'm doing in this sketch here. So we have Ariel, who right now has a tail behind her but also wings. Is it a tail? Is it wings? Who knows? And I gave her a halo. But she's parting the sea, which is also simultaneously rising after she gave the word. And there's palm trees in the background. And we have birds for scale that are flying at the speed of sound. And we have some rocks in the front to create more visual interest. So I'm on to my second sketch layer here. Now, this is the time to refine things. But it's already looking perfect to me. Just kidding. So I like to go in and start with the head, you know, because I feel like that's the area where I have most trouble. I don't really understand how people's faces work. I did do this sketch by hand. There's also spies somewhere in there, but Well, it's by hand on the computer. So both. I did the sketch in Photoshop just now, since the beginning of the stream. But I am drawing it myself, I promise. There's no one else in the room. I have a drawing tablet. I have the Huion Canvas Pro 16 drawing tablet, which is a display tablet, so it has a screen. It's basically a second monitor that you can use a stylus on. And ever since I got this thing, it's been beautiful. Because before then, I'm pretty capable of drawing on a tablet that is disconnected from the screen. It's what I used for years. It doesn't bother me so much, the disconnect, but I wanted to try and see if I could, level up my drawings by having a tablet that I could draw, directly on the screen, to see how that would help me. The cheekbones are kind of... It's not helping me because I choose to draw these things that I don't have experience drawing, and I don't really know what I'm doing. But yeah, I got this particular drawing tablet a few months ago. Actually, like the weekend it got to me, like the weekend before all the stay-at-home stuff went into effect. So drawing with a mouse is hard, very difficult. It's not impossible, but having a drawing tablet makes things so much easier, for sure. And having a drawing tablet where the area where you're drawing is where your drawing shows up, rather than drawing on a tablet that is doesn't have its own screen. I just feel like it's so much easier for me to draw, especially because I draw at weird angles sometimes. And so, like, I know exactly how it's gonna map to the document that I have open when I'm drawing on the screen. Here's the thing, is that I based her on kind of Ursula coming out of the water, so she's definitely going to be a little bit bigger, and I'm trying to exaggerate, but also, I mean, I don't love drawing her super tiny all the time anyway. Let me get some better shapes going here. I guess I need to give her more of an expression, but I don't see how to do that when her face is so, like, hidden, and I think maybe a little too much over on that side. Really what I should do going into the next sketch is to flip my canvas, just to make sure that things are working correctly. Let's do this, okay. And not like, oh, everything's like leaning to the right, which it probably is, honestly. If I like draw a line there, if we flip it, probably leaning too far to one side. That's how it goes. It's one of the nice benefits of doing digital art. you have a lot more leeway. You can make edits, you can flip things, you can undo and erase. Looks like a pregnancy photo shoot right now. Oh my god. I mean, she's giant. Okay. I want her hand to be... well, her fingers should curl in a bit. Wrath. That looks terrible. I'm just gonna delete it. Undo. Well, not undo. Delete. It's a completely different operation. Because actually now I can undo the delete and have the hand back. Okay. Let me think about this a little bit more. I might take out her forearm too. Should it be more out like this? Da-da-da. No. I like it to the side. Feels more open. But it also feels wrong. It's like her palm would be here and the thumb would... Give me Flab, because Flab is the best. Yeah. Oh my god. My tablet keeps doing the double click thing and it's drawing really dark lines. This kind of needs to go down this way a bit, you know? Okay, well, let me move on to the other side real quick. We go about here, probably. Clam hands. Did you see my my drawing from the other day for crustacean? That was something. That was a fun one. So let me tell you the story of that because it's more interesting than any whining about my drawing abilities that I'm going to do right now. The prompt was crustacean. So I knew as soon as I saw it that I had to do something with Sebastian. And then I was like, how do I do Sebastian and Ariel? I didn't have a lot of time, or I didn't want to put a lot of time into it. I didn't want to spend too much of my day on it, which is something definitely to consider if you are ever doing an art challenge. Is her head... I think her head needs to move over a little bit. Yeah, that's better. If you're ever doing an art challenge, you're drawing every day, it takes time. I mean, look at this. How long have I been streaming for? I don't even know. But I'm still sketching and I'm still refining. So like, it takes a lot of time. That's what I'm saying. And I didn't want to spend a lot of time. So I was like, how can I incorporate Ariel and Sebastian? What would I even have them doing? And then somehow the thought came to me, because I was trying to sketch out Sebastian just to get a feel for it. And I was looking at all the reference images and I was like, Sebastian is, if you look at Sebastian, he's really ugly. Like, really ugly. And somehow I just thought, I should just make him uglier. So that's what I did. And I decided the way to do that would be to not draw Ariel and Sebastian interacting, but to combine Ariel and Sebastian. And so it's Sebastian with mermaid elements. So there's like the fishtail aspect, but then also gave him like his claw arm ends in a hand and his human arm ends in a claw. And then his legs, he has a set of crab legs, a set of mermaid tails, and a set of human legs. And I was just like, this is gonna be incredible. And I'm pretty proud with the way that came out. So I don't regret it. No regrets here. Let's give Ariel some hair happening. I think you can probably see that part of her hair. Nope, undo. Okay. What should the rest of her hair look like? It's always a challenge to come up with new ways to draw Ariel's hair. No, that's not right. That line is not right. Hate it that the YouTube app can't be minimized and keep playing on the phone. Oh, do you? So mine will do that. I have a Google phone. Mine will allow that, but I don't know if it does it for live streams. And I know it won't do it if you're watching music videos unless you have like the premium thing. I also always forget that you guys are watching me from your phones because I do everything from my laptop. Short and spiky. But I already drew these luscious locks. Look at me drawing hair successfully. I don't know. I don't know if it's successful or not. I gotta get better at drawing hair. And I also gotta get better at drawing everything. Should have some hair coming out in the front here too. Maybe. Short and spiky. We can try in the next sketch layer. Okay. Oh, you're watching it on your PS4. How big is your TV? Because I can't imagine seeing this on a large screen. Here it is, just for you. I'm gonna giant Ariel. I feel that simultaneously this is not bad and also terrible. Welcome to the life of an artist. Okay, we're gonna have some water coming in down here, rolling up, you know, we get some splishy splashy happening, and then really what I need is for this to come up and then make like a wave, maybe. Wave. Can I show my face? I don't know how to do that on here. I don't know. I'm using OBS to stream this. I don't know if there's a way to add a second source. I'll have to look into that. In the meantime, I have plenty of other videos on my channel that have my face in them. I do want to start making more videos in general. So maybe I can put my face back in them. I'll be one of those artists that has a face reveal, and then they'll be like, wait a minute, we saw her face years ago. It hasn't changed that much. What am I doing? Where am I going in life? What's happening? These waves are too high, or are they? Maybe they need to, maybe this is the whole problem that I had on this side. Okay. We're making it work. She looks like Adele now. Adele. Aridel. Aridel. Something like that. If I can draw her hair up like this, and whoosh, like I did with the Fury one, wah, fire. Except I wanted to give her a halo. Let me draw her halo in. It's just that her face has no expression. You've got a joke. Why did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side? Yes, it was you. That was the notification from the group chat on Twitter. Okay, we've got halo. We've got hair and fire hair. We've got the sea. Is that right? Is that aimed at my response to the joke? Let's put a rock in that's like this. And then And then there's like, I don't know, some grass on it or something. And then it does that. I don't know. Why did Adele cross the road? To say hello from the other side. Ah. Did she say hello on the first side? Here's what I'm envisioning. That there's a road. Now, I always picture a country road because that's probably where a chicken is most likely to be in the country, and where it's most likely to be able to cross the road safely. So I just picture just grass and a road. And there's a chicken. And then there's Adele. I'm sorry to everyone who's watching this who's not you two. There's a chicken and there's Adele. And Adele says, hello. And the chicken looks at Adele. And then the chicken leaves. And it crosses the road. And then Adele's like, wait for me. And she does like a little wave. Like, wait, chicken. Wave. You can't see me right now, but I'm waving my hand and saying, wait, chicken. Then she crosses the road too. And then she says hello again to the chicken. So she says hello on both sides of the road to the chicken. The chicken doesn't respond. And probably when it got to the other side, it kept running into the grass. Let's do another slanty rock here. Like a little cliff side sort of thing. But it needs to be different from the other side. So what can I do to make this one different? Instead of it coming up here and going out like this, I'm gonna cut a chunk out of it. How does that work, you ask? I don't really know. But I'm doing it. It's a rock with a chunk missing. You like my streams best when I go off on tangents? Good, because that's really where I'm at right now. When I get tired, I lose all sense of reality. I don't know what I just drew there, but it's curvy and I like it, so I'm keeping it. I think the chicken rolled in the deep when it got to the other side. Never mind, she'll find someone like it. That's great. Yeah, you guys aren't asking me any insulting questions about my artwork right now because I'm too busy talking about chickens and Adele. Well, okay. We lost the palm trees. I think I drew the waves too high to have them in the background. So maybe that's what this will be. A palm tree. They kind of have like this pattern, right? Or is that too much like a birch tree. I'm gonna Google palm tree. What do I know? I'm from the East Coast of the United States, the northeastern United States. I'm not that familiar with palm trees. Some of them have like a pine cone looking thing happening. I kind of like that, but it's a lot to draw. It needs a happy tree friend. Ashley Birch Tree, yeah. She is screaming out from the crests of waves. I want to fit as many Coldplay references into this as possible. Oh, I forgot to draw the birds again. Here they are. They'll be the visual anchor in the background. Did I cut down a tree just to bring it back to you in an attempt to make you see where you're going wrong? Yes. I did. And then I got swallowed in this sea that Ariel is rising. Okay. I mean, things have happened, you know? Things have moved along. Time has continued. It looks, the hands are just too much. Or one finger needs to be like that, you know? It's getting the rest of her fingers that's difficult for me. I'm just gonna erase that. Sometimes, I talked about this before, and I learned it from, I took this advice from the artist here on YouTube, Drawing with Waffles. That, you know, when you're doing sketches, you want to try and keep as much of what you're drawing as possible. So really you want to start very light and then start to increase the line darkness as you go, and start to darken the areas that you really want to be drawing, but still keep the other information in there from what you drew before, just to have it, you know, and it can add to the sketch a little bit. But sometimes you just need to erase what was there and start over. You know, that's where I'm feeling that I'm at with this one, in this section. Something like that. Make her lack a pinky finger. Oh my god, you can't really even see the pinkies here anyway. Happy Tree Friends was pretty traumatizing. I didn't really watch it that much. I definitely was made to watch Salad Fingers, and I hate Salad Fingers. Happy Tree Friends was like this cartoon series that was like all these cute animals, but they did very violent, gory things. How can I get her mouth to be open? Let's give her a smile. Let's make her look like the Joker. And her eyes will be kind of closed. And she's laughing. Ah ha 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 ha. Wow. Look at how much that changed things. It's incredible. You've never heard of salad fingers? Don't even bother trying to look it up. Don't waste your time. It's not that it's bad. It's just that it's really creepy and it's unsettling. Unsettling. That's the word. It's very unsettling, and in a way that I like things that are creepy sometimes, but not salad fingers. Salad fingers is creepy and unsettling in the way that is very disturbing to me. And I don't like it. Now, weird creepy things like "Don't hug me, I'm scared." I love "Don't hug me, I'm scared." Or just animatronics in general are kind of toe that line. Puppetry things can often be that way. I don't mind those, but salad fingers, no thanks. Salad fingers is just an animated cartoon. Well, not cartoon, but like not like a TV show, but I think in the days of what was that site? Newgrounds. It's like a flash animation, basically, but very unsettling. I think there were multiple videos that they did of salad fingers. I think it had episodes. Now, like a river to a sewer, we lost a viewer. I like that your rendition of that rhymes, whereas the original one doesn't. We're at 4 viewers right now, which is quite a bit, and actually far more than my last Mermay stream. I think most of the time I was the only person watching. Although I guess you guys were there. Yeah, so webtoon, you could say, yes, a web series perhaps, but I don't know how many they did. It was just like a short video, like under 10 minutes, I think. But "Don't hug me, I'm scared." I would recommend watching those videos if you haven't. I liked them. I think they're still can still be somewhat unsettling, or they're also very weird, but in a different way. For me, a more tolerable way than salad fingers. Okay. Now, like, this side is off center, but I don't know if that's a bad thing. I think it is, because I'm just gonna draw that line that there, and then remember that it needs to come in a bit. Okay. I think I can get away with doing just one more sketch layer. Or do I need to do another sketch layer? I also need to think of, what time is it? It's 9:30. I also have to think about how much did I moved that layer. How in depth do I want to go with this drawing in terms of color and stuff like that? I don't think I'm gonna color it, but let's get some ink brush happening here. And I'm keeping this layer named sketch for now, but I might change that to just line, depending on how I feel about what happens in the next few minutes. So I'm going to draw out this tree first because it's in the front. And I already don't like it. So I'm already going to delete it. Let's do this, and then this, and then that. This is going to be a very sketchy finished drawing, I feel. That's okay. It might work out well. You know, for Wrath, like I was saying earlier, for Wrath I used this brush set, the Shiyoon Kim's ink brush. I used it when I did the Fury sketch. Like, literally the sketch for it, I used it, and then I was like, I like this for the final drawing. Like, it's working out pretty well, so I'm just gonna keep what I have, and that's what I did. So I think I'm gonna end up doing the same thing for this. Not so much polish today. Well, okay. I like these. I like that, what I just did, but I don't like this one over here, or maybe it just needs to kind of... I'm losing sight of where my lines are supposed to be. It's okay. It's just a drawing. There'll be another one tomorrow. Can't always think like that because I want to improve through doing this challenge. But it's just hard to put so much effort in every single day for the drawing, especially when you don't have time to get to it until 8 o'clock at night. You left to watch the first episode of Salad Fingers. Why, man? Why? Why would you do that? I hate the voice. I'm not, and I don't mean the TV show. Like, seriously, I cannot, like, even thinking about Salad Fingers, just like, ugh. It's bad news for me. If you watched it and liked it, all the more power to you. I didn't mean to put this giant blob here, but I kind of like it, so I'm gonna keep it. I have no clue what's happening with the rock that I'm drawing here. No, not the rusty spoon. Oh my god, not the spoons. No spoons, please. May I inquire about your spoons? I don't have any spoons. Too bad. Sorry. Let's get that going down there. This rock. I don't really know what's happening in my drawing. But I'm gonna keep making it happen. Okay, now on this side I had better luck putting in these sketchy bits here. I probably already just messed up with my ink brush, but it's like when it gets to this part where it's like repeating, then I'm like, oh, which way does, like, how far is it supposed to go over here, and what comes up here, and then I feel like I've messed it up. So I'm just kind of doing it and seeing what happens. Spoons and Kettles would be a decent name for a B-side. Not if it just reminds me of Salad Fingers. Then it would be a terrible name. As it gets to the top of the tree, at least to the top of where the tree is in the drawing, then I'm feeling less and less motivated to draw this in. Oh, it's much, I was gonna say shorter, but it's not necessarily shorter, it's just higher up than its counterpart over here. I feel like with using this brush, it makes what I do look nicer now. Do you think Glow was written about the Salad Fingers episode? Why? Because he says, "Given on your own silver spoon." I love the song Low. It's a great song. And it deserves to be appreciated more. I'm feeling okay about this, I think. I'm gonna add in some little hatching here to give it some texture, some variety. I don't know. How do I feel about those ones? Also, there's a giant blob over here, so I'm just gonna undo that. Undo, 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 undo. Okay, I'm gonna make some similar marks over here. Well, I feel like I have to add more of them in because there's far more on the other side. And they're a little darker. Such a brush. I love it. You're feeling hungry, then maybe you should get something to eat. So I'm gonna change the name of this now from sketch to foreground. Sure. Then I want to draw in some of the waves here. But what I need to figure out is how it looks like. Do I do the little watery bit? This is how waves look, right? I'm gonna undo those because I want it to come More like that. Can I please play I Ran Away Live? Unfortunately, that song is way too low for me to sing. And it's one of many Coldplay songs that is very low, too low for me to sing in some parts, and then is also gets pretty high pitched. Not the higher notes I can definitely hit. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. I feel like something's missing over here, you know? What happens to, how does this water, like, how does the water work? Like a little S. And they kind of look like snakes. I'm keeping it. Sing square one. I can't sing anything right now. Honestly, I'm surprised I can still talk. I saw that you used my squirrel video. I saw it in the Viva-esque promo that you did with the mirroring. They look like an assortment of shrimps. I love it. Make this eraser bigger here. Shrimp and aubergine. Chris has over the years done many incredible improvised songs. Shrimp and aubergine. I kind of liked what was happening there. Did I? Shrimp and aubergine. Empty shelf. Sunny delight. What's the, I got a house with the cheese windows. Oh, cornflake door, that's what it's called. Got a house with a cornflake door. You were wondering if that was my animation? It was. I took reference from the video and I made the little puppet and then I just animated it in After Effects and I did the least amount of animation possible. When is Chris Martin going to do a Cooking with Coldplay live stream? I want to know this too. Probably never. It would be hilarious if what he did instead was, did you guys see the video of Dakota washing her hands and it was Chris had his arms around her, using his arms? I want them to do it, you know, kind of Whose Line style, because you'd always see Ryan and Colin doing those kinds of things, and they were chefs. I feel like usually it was Ryan who was doing the talking and Colin using his hands. So I want to see them do that kind of thing. Oh yes, thank you. That was my other point. I first saw that one and then I saw the other video. And when I saw my video come up, I was like, I can't watch this. I wasn't in the mood to watch my video. Okay, now we've got to get some Ariel happening here. I think it took a lot of people a while to realize that it was Chris's hands. I didn't realize until she said something. Oh, because he like kept almost smacking her in the face with his hands when he would bring them up, and she said something about it. And then she said something else too after that, and that was when I realized that those weren't her hands. Okay, I want to try some things here. I've got this like shape happening. I want to try making curves that are actually a little more angular. Do you see what I'm saying? Almost like lightning bolts. That wasn't necessarily the intention, but it works very well for what I'm doing. However, I think the brush that I'm trying to use is not so well suited for this smaller section here. Nope. I gotta like get it at the right angle. And then I think this I'm just going to have to erase a bit of that. I just noticed her washing wasn't a good method. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. At some point I realized that it wasn't her. Then I was like, oh, wait, I understand now. Because before that I was like, why are Cold players talking about this and talking about Chris? Like, Chris is not even in this video. But it turns out he was. Turns out he was there the whole time. Okay, I think I have to switch back to this other brush that I was just using. Yeah, that's fine. Let's get some nostrils. Some tiny little nostrils happening. Let me see, does this one work a little bit better? But I have to make it very small. Very small. That's still pretty big. And it's a little bit off from where I'm setting my Then I just erase. Then I just draw a little bit more here. See, if I tilt my pen when I draw with this brush, it like puts it so high up from where I'm actually trying to draw. In some of these areas, the line doesn't want to show up at all unless I like make it really thick. So that's the only thing about the ink brushes, is they're not great for doing small details, but I mean, honestly, that's not really surprising to me. Okay, that seems pretty good. I'm gonna go back to this wet brush and just give her the rest of this hair there, and then I'm gonna have a bit of hair coming down. On this side, or it should just come from the back of, I mean, yeah, like that, and not this side. That's okay. I'm making it 2 strands now. There we go. And I'll make this one 2 strands also, because why not? Let's get some of this happening. Oops. Actually, that's a little too dark overall. A little too thick for the line. Okay. What does this look like if I take out my sketch layer? Not bad. Could be worse. You're gonna make a Voltron reference? Well, 2 things about that. One is that I don't even really remember what I just said, so I probably wouldn't know what you were referring to in reference to me anyway. And the second thing is that I don't really know that much about Voltron either. So for me, it would have gone right over my head. Just like the halo that I still need to draw on Ariel. I'm at the point where let's draw some scales on her. I'm at the point where I'm phoning it in. You wanted to, oh, wait, hold on, let me read this other. Not Bad has a almost Japanese Edo period art look to it. Ah. I guess we have Shiyun Kim to thank for that. These brushes are doing most of the work. Anyway, Eva, I don't know what to call you on here because you're not Jar Jar on here. Our friend M. You wanted to, sorry for cracking my fingers right into the microphone probably. Commend me on my talent for live streams. Thank you. The thing is that I'm pretty well suited for live streams because I like to talk to myself anyway when I'm doing things. And so it's just kind of like you get to hear the things that I would kind of say to myself. Or even just think to myself and then I just think them out loud. I don't really have a problem with doing that. I mean, I do have a problem when I'm trying to be focused and saying things that make sense. But for live streams, it's not always necessary, I guess. You never realized until you did your own live stream last week that you need so much guests to keep talking, essentially, to avoid. It can be tough. So, you know, one of my friends was trying to do game streaming. He wasn't really having fun with it. It was kind of like just becoming a thing that he felt obligated to do. But I think also like he definitely really feeds off of having people to respond to. Whereas I sometimes like I could go an entire stream not talking to you guys and only talking to myself. But I know like I feel like that's rude. So that's why I try to keep track of your comments. But I could very easily like get lost in it and just be talking to myself and just doing my own thing. So it's something that in other areas of my life is not beneficial, but for this it works out pretty well. I like to think, you know, yeah, it does suck when, hold on, let me concentrate for 2 seconds on this arm. It can suck when you see numbers going down. If I see like I have 4 concurrent viewers right now, which like, yeah, that's 4, sure. But you guys are always in my live streams and you're always like having great conversations and stuff like that. Even I like it even when you guys are only talking to each other through the chat. That's totally cool by me too. Like that's great to have, and that's just 2 people, but I still think like that's awesome. So yeah, even if it's just myself, if it is just myself, or I feel like maybe there's only one person watching, then it can be a little more difficult. And feels a lot more like stressful. Or if you're doing something for like the first time and you kind of need the feedback and you're not really getting feedback, that can be tough too. But just like, yeah, just in general, I think it helps that I kind of have my ability to be in my own little world. And I just accidentally shut off my drawing tablet for a second. Whoops. The thing is, so the tablet that I have has these buttons on the left side. Well, left for me because I'm right-handed. So I'm using the tablet in a right-handed way. So the buttons are on my left. And I have a quick key set for that thumb is way too big. All the thumbs are too big. I feel like I get better with positioning hands, but not with sizing them. That's something that I still really struggle with, is getting drawing hands to be the right size. I feel like I always have to resize them. Either resize parts of the hand or just resize the hand compared to the body. I'm just going to delete this if it'll let me. Delete. Okay. Let me look at. Oh, thank you guys. I'm glad that you enjoy my streams. That's good to hear. By the way, I didn't watch all of your stream of you reading from last week, but I did watch some of it when you sent me the link to watch the playback. Well, first of all, I'll say, oh yeah, that's why I had that there. First of all, I think the issues that you had with like the buffering and stuff, I think that maybe it was similar to when I tried to stream the Stanley Parable and it was like really bad for you guys. But in the playback, you don't notice any of that buffering or anything. I just watched like a little bit of the video that you sent and it seemed like it was loading fine throughout the entire thing. So I feel like, you know, on playback, people will be able to have a clear understanding of what you were saying. And that's another thing that I think about too, is like, I make sure, so all my streams on Twitch, I have them saved. That stays up for like 2 weeks. That's just Twitch's limit. And then the live streams here on YouTube, I keep them saved to my channel. So like the first live stream that I did on this channel last summer, this hand is just, oh my god, killing me. This is worse than fighting the helicopter in Uncharted. Anyway, oh, it does glitch a lot. I'm sure some people would still. So like, I saved the videos to my profile for here on YouTube. I saved them to my channel basically to be there forever. And so that's something I keep in mind too. Like, even if, yeah, it's a different experience when people are watching it live, but there might be people who watch it back later and interact with it and or whatnot as well. So you know, just because you're not seeing certain things happening as it's live or happening right away doesn't mean it can't happen later. Maybe that's just something I tell myself and it's not that true, and you know, whatever. The final thing I'll say about it too is that when I started doing my game streaming, I went into it thinking, okay, if I get one viewer, that's enough, you know? If I play the game and I like doing the streaming, then I'll keep doing it, because I didn't want it to be like kind of how it became for my friends, of just like this thing of, oh, I have to live stream today, you know? And sometimes I don't feel like live streaming. When I start, I was like what Chris said about going on the treadmill. And sometimes you're like, do I have to? But when I do it, then I'm like, yeah. Most days I don't regret doing it. So, this Halo's not working out now. I mean, maybe I need to scroll out a little bit here and just where I'm trying to vary the line weight here. Okay, that's good enough. Maybe it wasn't noticeable to you a lot because it's in another language. That's possible. I think also that maybe just the parts that I watched weren't. I watched a segment that didn't do that. So I was like, oh, no, it seems fine on playback. But I get what you mean. Okay, let me hide my sketch layer so far. I'm pretty pleased with how this is looking. I want to add in some of this. I'm just gonna do these little lines to make it like a sand texture. That's what this is. Is it working? Is it coming across that way? Who knows? But I've done it. It's already happened. I can just keep adding more in there. Sometimes it is possible to add too much to a drawing. But not when you're too tired to care. It's kind of soul-sucking at times. Entire playthrough and only had one viewer. Yeah, I think I really lucked out to have you guys come in and start watching my streams. Because, I mean, otherwise, like, if you guys weren't coming back regularly and being as awesome as you are, then probably I would have stopped after Horizon Zero Dawn, maybe. Okay, I need to get the birds in here first. So let's put the birds in. I might... Let me... Hold on. Let me put more effort into it than that. I might try with the fountain brush. But very, very small. Just because you have all the colors doesn't mean you should use them in every picture. You're so true. You're so true. That's so true. You're so right. For quoting Brian Eno. In this picture, I'm going to probably use none colors. I might do a little splash of color. We'll see. If I do, it'll be in small area or a little more monochromatic. So I'll just have one color that kind of pervades everything. I still don't like this arm. It's her right arm. It sucks because this other one kind of gets hidden behind the wave, and it works really well for that, for hiding my terrible drawing. It should come out more like this. That's more similar to what I have going on over there. Oh wait, this is not the same layer, so I can just do this. Yeah, okay, that's better. I think this still is falling under the trap of being too small. I just need to enlarge it a little bit. Just a little bit. I think that should hopefully match better. Yeah, that's pretty good. There's a lovely song called Monochrome from the Ghost in the Shell standalone complex season 1 soundtrack. Oh, cool. I'll have to listen to that when you share the link. Okay. I've got her halo in. I need to do something with this tail. So the tail should come out like this, and then it would go up here. and toward the palm tree, but not connect with it. Oof, that's bad. I might have to move the birds on this side as well. This doesn't work for this side because the palm tree is too close. Maybe also this one can like that. It's still not right. This goes out like this. This should go out. Do you like how I tried to totally stray from the sketch and then ended up right where the sketch is? Does it say anywhere how many comments we have so far? I don't think so. Let me see. Do I have it in my analytics? Chat rate 0. I don't think so. I don't think I have a way of seeing the number. Participants toggle timestamp. Yeah, I don't see anything that shows me a number for the comments. But I mean, definitely by now you guys have surpassed 42. That's my guess. I think we need some more bird friends. Just a flock of birds. Hovering above. Maybe I can at least draw some clouds. I'm gonna make a new layer for it. Just in case I want to remove the clouds. We'll draw them in like this. No, don't like that one. Nope, don't like that one. I have to think what cloud style looks good with this. Let's do it like that. You're on an elliptical trainer at 3 o'clock in the morning? I was gonna ask you because I know you mentioned earlier that you said you were doing sports, but I think I didn't get a chance to bring that comment up. You signed up to a virtual challenge. Nice. How many miles are you at? What's your progress? Is that good? Well, it's not terrible. We'll leave it at that. It could be much worse. I don't like that cloud that looked like a whale. It's not that I disliked it because it looked like a whale. I just think it didn't fit right over there. Maybe that needs a little more definition. No, not that much definition. Well, I want to say it's good enough for me. But I definitely have. It's definitely not centered, actually. I'd have to kind of see how that fares. But I think this is looking pretty decent overall. I feel like I might need something in the fins to make them read as fins, but I don't know what to do with them. I'm gonna put a line through it. Okay, now what do I want to do? 10 miles, nice. Yeah, for 100 more days it could be Vanessa Carlton. Oh my god. If you did that and then did it for 50, wait. No, that's the same amount of miles as the what's the song called? I can't even remember the name of the people who sing it right now. That's how brain dead I am. It's not 2,000 miles. I think it's called 500 miles. Oh, The Proclaimers. That's the song. I don't know if you know that song. They say, I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. Yes, you guys know. I'm glad that you know. You know what I'm gonna do with the fins? So adding color, you're saying, I think only coloring the fins would emphasize them too much. It might make them read more as fins, but like I want them to be in the background. I don't necessarily want them to be super noticeable. I just want you to be able to look at that and be like, oh yeah, that's obviously one of her fins. It's ginormous. It's twice the size of her. I think what I want to color is the water. I'm putting some marks here on the fin along the edges, and maybe that will help. And if it doesn't help, then I won't do it on the other side. I don't know. I don't know how it's coming out. I think it's okay. Can add them to her waist as well. I was doing that in a lot of my drawings before, and then I think at some point I forgot. Or I changed up the style, and when I went back to more of this kind of style, I forgot. The fins just overall are very messy, but it's okay. Well, it wouldn't have to cover up the birds. So the way that I do my coloring is that I have my usually what I do is put my sketch layers into a group, depending on, sometimes it's more helpful depending on how many sketches I actually have. Then usually I'll put that at the top actually, so that it shows over everything. I'm going to erase some of the lines that are in here for this fin because it's just too much happening over there. The way that I color from here, and since I think I am going to add a little bit of color, usually I'll separate the colors onto different layers as well. So like if I'm doing the skin, I'll have a layer for skin, I'll have a layer for the bra, the tail, the fins, the hair, stuff like that. But I put it, especially when I have line work like this, I put it underneath the rest of the layers. So even if, let's say that I did color the fins in this color and I do this, that's not the brush that I wanted. But you can see, so it doesn't, because I have it underneath, it doesn't cover up any of the stuff that's on top. Do I like this color? I like it, broadly speaking, but I'm not sure it works for my C here. Trying out this brush, which I think is better suited for coloring things in. Might increase the size a little bit, because this drawing today is pretty big. It's covering a lot of space. want to erase that. Da, da, da. All the space it's taking up. All the sound is breaking up. Then what I can do also is bring up the hue saturation tool and I can just change the color a little bit. Ooh, I like this color. It's very pretty. Then I'm gonna take a rough approximation of what that color is and just do a little bit darker. Let's try it here on the ground where the sand is. And just maybe keep the rest of the colors. I'm gonna make a new layer just in case, just in case I screw something up. But yeah, I'm gonna keep the rest of the colors a little more saturated or desaturated. I'm telling you, this brush is like working miracles right now with this art. I think that's one thing that you learn over time doing any kind of art, especially when it comes to traditional art. You really rely a lot on your tools to do the work for you in certain areas. So like if you have, you know, if you're trying to do something like this and digitally if you don't have like these brushes that someone else made, it can like be hard to get it to look the way you want it to, because some of the things that are achieved in traditional art when it comes to like painting, drawing, are a result of the tools that you're using. So even if, you know, we mentioned Bob Ross before, if you watch his videos, you'll see that, like, for example, in making trees, he relies a lot on the brush to do the work, to make the shapes and to make that texture to be a tree. So like he'll use the fan brush specifically and just kind of make little marks that indicate the trees, and it's really the tool that he's using that's helping to accomplish that. So the more that you can understand that and remember that when you're doing your own work, it makes it much easier to be less hard on yourself if you're doing digital stuff and it's not coming out right. And once you get these tools, certain tools, like I think you don't need to have like extra brush sets to make things look good at all. You can do, like, for example, vector artwork looks pretty great without needing necessarily the same kind of texture or the same reliance on those happy accidents and stuff like that. It's a much cleaner look. But I think having a few things that you can rely on does help. It doesn't need to be super fancy, but okay, now everything but Ariel's colored in, and I think I need to color her in, but gonna make another layer. I'm not naming my layers because I'm not really separating any of this stuff. I'm just trying to make sure that if I need to erase, it's not damaging the other colors that I've already laid down. And I'll probably just leave them as separate layers once I'm done because I'm too lazy to merge them together. But that's probably what I would do otherwise. Let's give her a little bit darker for, well, now I have to shrink my brush a little bit. We're getting into the details here. I might leave her skinned the white. I might not color that in. Two miles on, woo! Oh no, the sound was gone. So you missed my whole rant about tools. That's okay, you can watch it back later. This is going to be a long video on my YouTube channel. I think that basically I'm done now. So the other thing that I do, 3 things that I do. One thing, don't always do it. It depends on what I've drawn. I'm only sticking with the this blue theme. So I'm just making everything kind of sort of in the same shade happening here. That's not the right word, but 3 things that I do. 1 is I like to add the title into the artwork somewhere. 2, I need to put in my little signature. And then the 3rd thing that I do, which I don't always do, it depends on the drawing and kind of the canvas that I start with, but a lot of them I have cropped down after the fact. So I never mentioned this until just now, I'm pretty sure, but I start with my canvas at 3000 by 3000 pixels because I like to, first of all, I like to do this a lot and zoom out and see everything, but I also like to get really in there. And even if I'm drawing something that's smaller, like maybe smaller than this viewport area here, I like to have more canvas space because then I feel like if I'm having to draw and I can see this gray area outside of the canvas, then I get too stuck inside of that box. So I like to start bigger, and then these I'll crop down depending on, you know, what the size ends up being. So I need to do that. I'm just gonna group some of these together to clean things up a bit. Lines, color, sketches, great. Then I'll make a new layer for my title, and I'll go back to, well, maybe I'll try the fountain brush for the title. A mirrored wrath in the sky above. So like this. Oh, I forgot the thing in the A. But probably Is that what you mean? Something like that. Something just like that. I think that I might want... I don't think I like it with that brush. Could the trees be part of the word? Let's go back to this fountain brush. You mean more like that? The left one part of the W and the right one part of the H. I think you might be able to make that work. I'm concerned about it cutting too much into It's not too bad. Like how this one, I made the R too pointy. The other trick when using digital art that is immensely helpful is changing the blend mode, although it's not really going to do too much in this one because there's not really much going on. But blend modes are awesome things, and they can really do a lot for you when you're trying to like layer different colors, different textures, and stuff like that. I'm not liking the reflection there. I think it looked better when it was something like that, but I think this could still use a little something. I think it was the way that I'm trying to do this is not working so well. Wait, what happened to the R? I deleted it. It does kind of read like rat, yeah. I think maybe just if I take one of my colors, put it behind, how does that come out? What if you hide the other letters in the picture? The R aligned. Ah. I think I see what you mean. This is the A, obviously. I might just need to like I like it. I just don't want it over the yeah, right? I like it, but I think it's covering too much of the details, but maybe I can, instead of having the letters be black, I like it. I'm just trying to make sure it doesn't cover up too much of my, kind of like that one still too, but so I'll keep that layer and just keep this one too. That I don't think was working too well. If I bring it below things, how do you feel about it with the color instead of it being black? Ooh. I like it. It like kind of looks like she's crying, which I like. I love that Ariel looks like she's crying. I'm not even gonna give you guys time to give me feedback. The A might need to be less prominent. Yeah, I know. That's... And maybe... Okay, I have an idea for that. I'm gonna do my signature first, just to get it out of the way. I think I'm gonna put it down here by this rock. This seems like a good place. Which brush? Really, the fountain, the ink, whatever that is, probably bristles, and wet ink are the ones that I've been using the most. I really like these brushes. Mermay 2020. Ah! 19. Well, I guess I can't crop anything on that side. So I have an idea. Now let me talk to you guys about non-destructive editing. So one way to create digital art using non-destructive editing is to do like I've been doing here and creating multiple layers for things, as well as saving different versions. I haven't really done that per se, but if I had something that I liked and wanted to tweak, I like to just create totally new layers and redraw things in this process. But if I was doing it more like a painting and more like coloring everything on one layer, I might duplicate that layer and start working on a new version of it. So I do that when I do like my speed paintings, which maybe I can open a file for you. Let me see. Speed painting. What's one that I did recently? So like these boots, you can see that I have my original layer here, and then I keep working off of that. And so I did this in 10-minute intervals, and so each time that the 10 minutes was up, I duplicated my layer, and sometimes even within those 10 minutes, like here, I had made enough progress that I wanted to duplicate it again, or I was going to be making a major change, and so I wanted to duplicate it again. And it's just duplicate that layer, and then I keep working on it and building it up over time. So that's one way to do non-destructive editing or creating the art in a digital medium. The other thing, well, not the other, there's more ways to do it too, but one of the other things that's also useful is masks. So like this, it's this little icon here, adds a mask to the layer, and then you're just working off of grayscale, so where black is alpha and white is opaque. So right now everything on the screen is visible because the mask is all white. So if I have my color set to black down here, and then I take a brush and I have this mask is on the text layer. So if I start drawing, you'll see that it looks like it erases. I don't know how well you can see it when I'm zoomed out like that. It looks like it's erasing, but it's actually just masked. So if I switch my brush color to white now and draw over that same area, it'll bring back what I removed. So if you need to like mask things out, erase certain things, but you don't want it to be I'm just gonna delete this mask and start over again. You don't want it to be totally removed, you can use the mask layer, and sometimes I do that when I'm coloring, so that way if I wanted to bring something back I can, or if I wanted to add more to it, there is an option here to color a layer only in the pixels that are already on that layer. So if I have this pink, I'm starting a new layer here. If I have this pink and I color it, and then I want to color orange, but I only want it to show up. I want to color it on the same layer, but I only want it to show up where I already have the pink. Then I can just do this. It's like the checkerboard. So basically that's the alpha. If I do that, so when you take out the background, you get the checkerboard. That's to show you the alpha. So if I hit that symbol on this layer, it locks it. So now when I color orange, it's only in that area. If you use multiple layers, there's a thing called clipping mask, which you can achieve the same thing, but having it be multiple layers. If you're just using single layer, you can do it that way. So yeah, that way, if I had just erased things and then wanted to draw something new, it wouldn't overwrite what's already there. But you can also just put a mask on the layer like I'm doing here, and then And then as well, actually, let me go back to that then. Add a mask. Let's say I only want, let's remove that part. Now if I go back and add in my color, it's obviously, it's not going to show up there because it's masked out. Everything on that layer is masked out. So yeah, there's just like, there's always like 500 different approaches to the same thing. And I use them a lot interchangeably. It just kind of like depends on what I feel like doing, or again, like what I think I might do later. But here I'm using the mask. So there's the binary of black and white, black being alpha, white being opaque. But it is grayscale, so you can use shades of gray on here to achieve a slightly less opaque portion of your layer without making it completely alpha. So all that to say that I had this thought of just masking this so it's a little bit, the letters fade a little bit more as they go back. Oops, that's the wrong way. I want it to be a little bit lighter, but not too much lighter. But I completely forgot to color in this side. Princess layer. Nice. So then I can disable it and see, do I like the way that looks? What do you guys think? I kind of almost want to just leave it fully the way it was before I used the mask. Because I think it makes it not as noticeable, but like in a way that you don't know it's there at all. You know what I mean? I think I like this. Plus if I go, yeah, I'll keep the mask, but I'll just keep it disabled. That I won't delete the mask just in case for for posterity. What is it they say? Okay. I'm feeling pretty good about this. So what I'm gonna do now, this will be the last step, just and I call it cropped underscore cropped. And then I'm just gonna use the crop tool, which I can hit C on my keyboard, and then it's been doing this weird thing. I just wanna shrink it down some. But it's kind of The problem is that I didn't do enough over on this other side, and I don't know if I have the right swatches to fix my mistakes. Which layer? That's her. That's the clouds. I just need to like add a little bit more. Whoops, that's too much. Let's add a little bit more color there. And I might add more of the line work in also. I think this one needs to be a little bit darker. Close enough. Now, one more time, just go back to the wet ink and that. Lines. No. Okay. Foreground. You might wonder, does it bother me that I save it as a new file just to crop it, but then I also make more changes to it? So now my original non-cropped version is not the same. And yes, but it is what it is. 4 chickens in the stream. I think there have been 4 chickens in the stream for a while. Every time that I look up, it says 4 anyway. So once again, thank you to everyone who's watching, but not responding in the chat. Your contribution to the view count is just as much appreciated. Am I feeling like I'm done with this? 100% yes. Because also it's already almost 11 o'clock. Which means that I've been streaming for like another 2.5 hours, I think. That's fascinating. So today I've streamed for almost 5 hours. This is my life. But I don't mind it. If I minded it, I wouldn't keep doing it. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is about it. I like to use, to export this Save for Web Legacy because when I started using it, it wasn't Legacy. But now it is, and I'm still used to using it. It's great to use if you want to make GIFs. That's how I do it from here, because it has an option for GIFs. But I can't really show you this window on my tablet because it resizes weird, and then I can't see the whole thing, and I can't actually hit the save button. But basically, I mean, I'll bring it over again though so you can kind of see. Basically, it just gives you a preview of like, here's what the image is gonna look like, and then you can change different settings for like the quality, and there's presets for the quality, and you can change the image size. So if you wanted to save it out as a smaller image, you can. Theoretically, you can save it out as a larger image, but since this is a raster based image right now, scaling it up is just going to pixelate it. So if we were working in vector, mostly using like paths and shapes, but I'm not sure how well that works in Photoshop anyway. If you're using something like Illustrator that is totally vector based, then you can scale up infinitely because vector based doesn't work based on pixels. It works based on math. So you can scale it infinitely in either direction. It's not going to affect the quality of the edges, whereas you might notice if you take a really small picture, if you take a big picture and scale it down, it's okay, but if you take that small picture and scale it up, it gets really pixelated and messy. So you probably don't want to be saving out a bigger image than what you created in Photoshop, but it is technically possible to do that from this screen. That's all I'm saying. And then I'm just gonna save it, and that's it. So then here's more of my process that you didn't ask for. I like to talk while the fire trucks go by. I like to upload it to Twitter first and get my caption down, while simultaneously uploading the image to my Google Drive folder. So that way I can download it on my phone to upload to Instagram, and then I have my Instagram linked to Facebook, and then I just have it post there too. Sometimes I post separately to Facebook if, like, for example, the Gaiety one that I did the other day, this one. This was too vertical for Instagram to show as one image, so I split it into 2 images for Instagram, so I just posted it separately to Facebook. But anyway, that's it, guys. Mermay, day 19 done. I'm actually really proud of myself for getting this far. And like I basically knew after like 10, 12 days that I was going to be able to do this the entire time. Honestly, this afternoon I realized that I hadn't done anything for it, and I was like, oh shit, I have to do Mermay today. I like almost completely forgot. So there's still a possibility of that happening, that I just completely forget that I haven't done it yet. It depends. But I feel confident that I can keep going. And there's some of these ones that I've done that I have really liked. There's some of them that I feel like, ooh, eh. And some that I think I liked, but I definitely would improve things about them. But I think it's just a good exercise to get ideas out and just to be making things, and to start and finish a thing every single day feels great to me. And to, you know, have certain parameters that I can work within, so I'm not starting completely from scratch every single day, has helped me a lot too. So I've had fun with this, and I think I said this before, I would really recommend doing an art challenge if you are interested in that kind of thing, and if you're interested in sort of leveling up your skills. I think it just helps you get the practice in, and helps you kind of get the discipline of doing it every single day. You know, there's like a motivation behind it, and if you do an art challenge for the first time, you might want to follow a set of prompts, just so that you have a basis so you can do it every day. That's helped me, at least. If I had to come up with something completely out of thin air every single day, probably would have given up, because I just don't feel like doing it. Not that I wouldn't be able to, but just that I wouldn't be motivated to do it. So having the prompts has helped me, but at the same time, give yourself the freedom to be like, I'm going to start with this prompt, and then wherever it goes is wherever it goes. Where it ends up, that's where it ends up. And it doesn't have to be exactly what the prompt is. The prompt you just use as like your jumping off point. Oh my god, a Coldplay art challenge would be awesome. If you come up with prompts for a Coldplay art challenge, honestly, I might participate in that. That could be really fun. And one of them could be a mermaid prompt. If you want, I'll draw Coldplay's mermaids. 20 days of parachutes related prompts to celebrate 20 years of parachutes. That sounds awesome. Some of them could probably be related to the songs. That sounds really cool. I think you should come up with a list of prompts. Do it. I'm sure there's plenty of other Coldplayers who are artists who would be into that. I know there's definitely other people who are like artists, designers, that kind of thing. And it doesn't always have to be like drawing either. An art challenge could be anything. Like if you wanted to do like collaging and stuff like that, I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. Well, thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to end now because my voice is dying and my brain is dying, and I have to actually post this thing. But thank you for joining me. It's been fun. I never thought that I would be able to live stream for so long and talk for so long and have fun with it, but I do teach students, animation students, some of these things, or I have taught a class with Photoshop related things involved, but it's much nicer to be able to talk about these things when I don't feel the pressure of like your future on me. Your future as a professional artist. So it's nice that I can just talk about what I know and not feel like am I doing well as a teacher. That's awesome. That's great. You don't need to have skills in any particular thing. You just make stuff. Actually, one thing that I would recommend to you guys too is to watch this YouTube channel called The Art Assignment, and I can for you two specifically in our group chat, I stream from midnight to 5 a.m. Oh my god, I streamed the whole night. For me, I streamed the whole evening. I can give you guys the link, but for everyone watching this video, The Art Assignment, which is run by Sarah Uris Green, she's great, and it's incredible because she often will talk about how like you don't really need to be creative to make art. So I think that's something good to look at and very inspiring as well. So definitely recommend watching The Art Assignment. And it started out as a channel that had basically challenges. It had assignments for you to do that were art related, so like different prompts and stuff. And she just recently published a book with stuff like that as well. So that's something that's great, especially if you feel like you're not skilled or talented, or that other people are more talented. You feel like I can't do this. You can. Everyone can. Everyone has it within them to make cool things. I think some people are more inclined to do it, but you have it within you. You say you're not really creative at all, but I'm sure that there are things that you are creative in. And I think that so she says, right, you don't have to be a creative person to make art. I think it's more that creativity is much broader than people think it is. You know what I mean? And it comes in a lot of different forms. So people might think of creativity as like being able to draw. But creativity is more about like just making things, creating things. That's what I think. So like no matter what, it's creative. If you've made something and you put thought into making it, then you're creative. That's my perspective. Thank you for joining me. Will I do another Mermay live stream? Probably. I'm sure you guys will talk me into it. I've had fun doing this. And definitely I might live stream the last day of it anyway. I don't know what day of the week that is. Let me look at my calendar. It's a Sunday, so it's feasible. I don't know what the other prompts are off the top of my head, and I don't feel like opening the files. So I might, about getting ideas also. Yeah, exactly. But I feel like even then, if you say like creativity is like coming up with ideas, then some people are still going to think, oh, well, I can't really come up with ideas. But you can. Everyone can. Everyone has a voice. Everyone has something to say, and if you're putting that voice out there, that's creating something. You're creative. The end. Thank you for joining me. I'll keep you guys posted about when I might stream again, Mermay wise, but remember that you can always find me on Twitch Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays for my game streams, and you can follow me at In a Wooden House on Instagram to see all of my Mermay posts. That's the best place to go because I haven't been posting anything else to my Instagram, so you'll be able to see all of them all in a row. Punk and futuristic prompt. Oh yeah, futuristic is like 2 days from now, I think, and punk is a little bit more of that. Maybe punk, I might do something with that. I might also do I'm not gonna say anything yet. I have an idea for that one right now. We'll see. Everyone loves, everybody gets their hearts ripped out. It's everyone dreams and doubts. Yeah. Everybody dreams and doubts. That's it for me. Thank you guys so much for joining. I have to remember how to stop streaming on this. Every new stream I do is a completely different setup. So I have to remember which button is it, what's happening. And you streamers say that all the time, don't they? Well, the old people who don't usually stream, they're like, how do I end this? Oh my god, did you guys see Gwyneth Paltrow trying to live stream on Instagram but joining, and then Moses was there? It was just a hoot. Anyway, that's it for me. I need to go. I gotta go to sleep, and you guys need to go to sleep too, because it's too late for us all. And it's too late for your rabbit, and your rabbit needs to go to sleep. Have a good night, guys, or good morning, or good whatever it is, wherever you are. Thank you for joining me. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel, and, you know, I guess the notifications, the notification bell is how you get notifications, and you can get notified when I stream next time. I'll try to plan the stream and give more of a heads up next time around. You have the same problem with ending your live stream? See, the thing is, when I stream on Twitch from my PlayStation, that's one method. When I was streaming on Twitch from my PC, then I'm ending it within OBS. But on YouTube, I actually start streaming with OBS, but it sends the stream to YouTube first, and then I start and end the actual live stream within YouTube. So it's just a different setup. So it's like I have to start it in two different areas and end it in two different areas. That's a little bit of behind the scenes for you. Follow the white rabbit. Oh, wow. Interesting. Anyway, final wrap up. Thank you guys for watching. Next time, I will give you more heads up for when I'm going live on here with Mermay stuff. It's been a blast. I can't believe I've been streaming for almost 3 hours on this. That's incredible. It's going to be my longest YouTube video ever. Thank you for joining me. Even if you weren't active in the chat, we still appreciate the views. Still appreciate you sitting here and listening to me ramble for almost 3 hours. That's it. Peace out.